This time-space reality that you call life on Earth is a consensus reality, a consensus construct. What that means is that it is meant to be a co-creative experience. Many guides will tell you that you create your own reality because it's empowering to awaken to yourself as a creator of your experience. But you did not come here to create a reality built for one. In a consensus reality, the mastery of relationships, so as to reach a chosen state of oneness, is the ultimate goal, because that is really the only way to ensure the enjoyment or the well-being of all individuals that are participating in that consensus construct. You could say that at the end of the day, you came here to do external parts work, knowing that all things that you will interact with in this time-space reality are ultimately you. In this consensus construct, the law of mirroring, which is often called the law of attraction, does not just apply to you, it applies to all things. This includes collectives. So the law of mirroring is applying to the collective consciousness of mankind, just like it would apply to you as an individual, which is why an entire collective might line up with a traumatic experience, for example. All of this that I'm telling you right now, you knew before you came into this life, and you specifically chose it and/or lined up with it vibrationally as a result of your previous incarnations. What this means is that you knew at some level that this time-space reality in a consensus construct was going to add the most to your personal expansion and therefore add the most to universal expansion. The trouble with the consensus reality is that it can feel incredibly disempowering, most especially if you do not recognize others as a part of yourself. The way to understand this is to imagine sitting down with 5 other people with one canvas and several paints. Every person has a paintbrush. You might be loving the co-creation for a minute until somebody picks up what you perceive to be an ugly paint color and draws something unwanted on that canvas. This is a metaphor for life on Earth. There are so many unwanted things that others do here in this construct, things that negatively impact other beings participating in this construct, and this can make you feel powerless. For example, someone can raise their child abusively. Someone can decide to build a highway straight through an animal migration route, and then society can decide to leave the carcasses on the side of the road to rot. Someone can break into a house and steal from someone else. Someone can put a monopoly on a certain business. Someone can declare war, and the list goes on forever. The powerless of being in a consensus reality, where the other people or beings that are a part of this consensus reality have so much influence and impact on you, is incredibly disempowering. For this reason, there are so many guides, so many teachers, who will teach you to disconnect from that awareness of the consensus reality and attempt to create your own reality. This is empowering insofar as you remember that you are actually a conscious creator of your own reality. It's very important for people to understand that they have the power to consciously create, and therefore the power to influence and the power to impact all other aspects of this consensus reality. Another way of putting this is that so many teachers are going to teach you to disconnect from this construct, you actually can't. But to try to get you to mentally disconnect from this consensus construct and try to create your own reality. This is only beneficial so far as to get you back to your knowing that you're a conscious creator, and so far as it puts you back in touch with your personal power. If you take it further than this will cause you to become disconnected within this consensus reality, which makes you rather like a cancer cell within a system. It traps you in a narcissistic bubble where you are no longer aware of the influence or impact you have on all other aspects of this consensus reality. The real task of awakening is to awaken to the fact that you are a conscious creator and therefore have incredible power over the co-creative experience here. The real task is to recognize all other things in this construct as parts of yourself. The real task is to commit to using your creative capacities and your power to positively influence and positively impact everything you come into contact with. The real task is to master relationship so as to intentionally integrate with all other things in this time-space reality. Doing so is what causes the collective reflection to change. Knowing all of this, the most empowered decision that you can make is to become aware as you possibly can, and from there to cast your vote. When we are talking about becoming aware, what we mean is that we seek out information. We're trying to reach a state where we're in an objective perspective. That means we want to see, hear, feel, understand, and come to know anything we come into contact with. By doing so, our own perspective changes, and we know this. Our perspective no longer is trapped in the subjective, it becomes more objective. And in an objective perspective, you can vote in a way that is beneficial not just to you, but all other things in this consensus construct. And from that space of expanded perspective, we cast our vote. But in this time-space reality, you vote with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. If you feel especially powerless, I encourage you to watch 2 of my videos. The first titled, All People Want Power, and the second, Take Your Power Back. You can see the danger of somebody being so fixated on their own agenda that there's actually no way to get to them. And as a result, they end up bulldozing you. You can also see the danger in feeling so powerless to the influence and impact of everything around you that you feel like you don't create any aspect of your experience here. If you're so wrapped up in the thoughts, words, and actions of other people, you will live your entire life in a state of powerless reactivity. A truly empowered person is both deeply connected to all else that is, while at the same time is able to make autonomous choices regardless of what everyone else is doing or not doing. Every individual that as a society you revere is somebody who held a very strong vision for what it is they wanted to see in this consensus reality, not just for themselves, but for other people. And from that space, they made their thoughts, their words, and their actions a pledge to that ultimate vision, regardless of what other people did or did not do. For example, in a world dominated by cruelty and hate, Jesus Christ wanted kindness and love, and so he made his thoughts, words, and actions a pledge to that vision, no matter what other people did in his time, and no matter what others did to him. In a world dominated by ignorance and suffering, the Buddha wanted awareness and true joy, and so he made his thoughts, words, and actions a pledge to that vision, no matter what other people did or did not do in his time. In a world dominated by poverty and immorality, Muhammad wanted charity and morality, and so he made his thoughts, words, and actions a pledge to that vision, no matter what other people did or did not do in his time. In a world of discrimination and segregation, Martin Luther King wanted fairness and unity, and so he made his thoughts, words, and actions a pledge to that vision, no matter what other people did or did not do in his time. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are a vote in this consensus reality, a very powerful vote. They have immense influence and impact on everything else in this consensus reality, especially those things that you are most in close contact with. And it must be said that this is not a vote that only matters for your limited lifespan. A vote matters for everything that comes after your life is over. It's a vote for what comes next in this consensus reality. For this reason, as so many impactful people throughout history have proven, it is more important for you to see this vision for what you want for the world and to cast your vote in this way and to live powerfully according to that thing you want to see for the world than your own personal safety and survival. Therefore, if you ultimately want a world of kindness, you have to be that kindness. You have to be the person who talks to strangers and is open to everyone you pass on the street, even if they are not. If you want freedom, you have to be that freedom. You have to set yourself free and set others free, even as they try to restrict you and restrict themselves. If what you want is truth, you have to be that truth. You have to seek truth and speak truth, even though it is difficult to face and challenging to express, and even if there are consequences for doing so. For this reason, the practice that I am going to give you today, on top of mastering relationships, which, let's be honest, is the majority of what I'm teaching you, is to cast your autonomous vote. Casting your autonomous vote with your thoughts, your words, and your actions is literally the most empowering decision that you can make in this consensus construct. And by the way, I need to make you aware that in any consensus construct, they cannot take the power away from you to vote. All they can ever do is put pressure on you to vote a certain way. Think about the bigger picture regarding what you want life here to be like in this consensus reality, not just for yourself, but for everything else that is participating in this consensus reality. And then make your thoughts, your words, and your actions an absolute pledge to that grand vision of yours. And becoming as aware as possible. Cast your vote, no matter what other people do or don't do. Cast your vote with the universe at large for what you want to see become collective reality. Have a good week.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and consider sharing this video with your friends. You can also click on the bell icon to be notified of the next time that I post a video. I want to thank you personally for the bravery that you have to step into awareness. I'll see you in the next video.